Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. I also love to doodle. So for the month of March, I am making 31 videos using prompts from cutelittlepaper.com. And we are doodling, we're doing some Zentangling, we're doing some Zentangle inspired art, all kinds of things for the month of March. So we are on day 25 and the prompt for today is leaves. So let's open up our books, which are getting very full, by the way. This is the first time you're tuning in. You can go back to video number 1 for the March Doodle Challenge, and it talks about how to create this little journal. This was yesterday's prompt, the bucket and a mop. So cute. So today is day 25. Let me write that on here. And the challenge is leaves. Okay, so what I'm envisioning is just like a pile of leaves, like we're looking down from the sky, looking down at a pile of a whole bunch of leaves. So that's what I'm going to do. If you would like to draw a little frame first and put your leaves inside that, you can. Or if you want to draw a tree and put your leaves on, you could also do that. But I'm just going to start making a pile of leaves. So I'm going to begin with what I think is the easiest, most basic shape, which is a pointed oval. Like to make both sides nice and round, and it's about the size of my pinky finger. And I'm going to put in the center stem, but I'm not going to put in the end one quite yet. So I'm going to divide that in half like that. And I'll add the ends later after our pile is kind of done. Okay? All right, so for this one, I'm just going to put in little V shapes. So very basic, like that. All right, and we'll go back and add some more fun details and embellishments later. Okay, so I want to do another one that's about the same shape. So I'm just going to turn my paper and put one somewhere else. And I'm going to put the line through it. And then this time I'm going to do the V shapes, but I'm going to aura really close, like that. And then I'll do it down here, like that. And if you've got room for more, you can do more. Okay, now I want to do a couple more shapes, and then we can go back and add more of this shape. There are an infinite amount of different shaped leaves, and you can get really creative and really complicated and really elegant and beautiful. But I'm just going to pick a few basic ones, and that's what I'm going to do today. Okay? All right, so my next shape is going to be more of like kind of like a heart shape. So I'm going to let it bump into one of these. So I'm going to choose this one, and I want to turn it. So I'm going to do like a heart, and then I'm not showing the bottom on this one because it, is hiding. And then the stem part is going to come down like that. And then of course it'll go out to that end later when we're done. And for this one, because the stem is up here, my lines are going to go this way. And I'm going to do a line and a dot from the center. So we are doing doodle leaves. I am not doing realistic fancy leaves. I'm doing ones that are just cute doodles that are not necessarily real. So I want to do another one of those shapes. I'm going to do it down here. So just kind of a heart shape. And then that stem, I'm going to curve it a little. And then for this one, I'm going to start at that point and I'm going to come out from that point all the way on each side. So again, we're just having fun with these. All right, another shape I like to do is, let's see, I'll put one down here. I kind of want it to bump into that, but I still want to show you how to do it. Okay, so I'm going to put one on the side here and then one behind there. So I'm doing like a low bump, 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 and then down. I'm going to do one next to it as if those bumps are coming up there and then coming down. And then my stem is going to come out down here. And I'm just going to put some little flicks coming up from the bottom. Just a nice, pretty little elegant one. Can do another one, so I'll put it right here. So I'm going to put that first one, little low bump, low bump, low bump, and one here. And then the little flicks with my pen. And the flicks are fun because they're wider at the bottom, and then you sort of lift your pen as you go, and it's nice and narrow at the top. Okay? All right, and again, I'll put my stems in later, so we've got a couple of those. I feel like I want to do one more. I just really like this one, and I want to get one more in there. So I'm going to come up here. I like trying really hard to bump into or go behind another leaf if I can. Okay. Right, the next one I want to do is kind of a teardrop shape. So I've got a nice big space here, and a teardrop is not too hard to make, so I'm going to try to connect these. So I'm going to go like this, just nice and round at the bottom, and then coming up at the top like that. And the stem is going to come straight down that center. And because it disappears behind, I don't have to draw that stem. So it's very similar to the first shape we made, but it just is narrower at the top and wider at the bottom. All right, for this one, I want to start at the top point, and I want to come down, and then I want to imagine it going into the bottom point, and then top point down to that bottom point that I can't see, and the same thing there. So we're playing with this go behind idea, which in Zentangle is called the Hollabaugh method, and just lifting our pens. So I ended up with kind of a funny little thing here, but that's okay. We'll make that work. Okay. So we're just lifting our pens as if it goes underneath another one. All right, I'm going to do another one of those down here. Kind of wider at the bottom. And put in that stem. For this one, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to bump up and over. Start at the bottom again, up and over, up and over. And I'm coming off of that center spot there. Same thing on the other side, and I'm going to try to line these up as much as I can. So I'm just coming over when it gets to that line. Isn't this the cutest pile of leaves you've ever seen? Okay. Are we doing good? All right, the last shape that I want to do is going to be, can't remember what kind of a leaf it is, but I'm gonna put in the stem first actually. So I kind of wanna fill in the space right here. So I'm gonna put my stem in like that. And the top is gonna have a bump that goes over that stem. And then we're going to kind of tuck in and then bump out, tuck in, bump out, tuck in, bump out. And you can get wider if you want. Go the other side, bump out, bump out. Then I'm just going to take these ends and bring them up, leaving that little stem in the bottom. And for this one, I'm going to do a little bit of an angle and a line into each of those areas. And a little dot on top. All right, I'm going to put one more in of that shape, and I think I'm going to do it right over here in this corner. And again, I want it to purposely bump into others so that it fills in. So I think I'm going to do mine kind of upside down here. I'm going to do mine like this. It doesn't matter where you put it. So I put that top bump in, and then I go out, in, out, in, out. As many times as you want. He turned out kind of funny looking, but that's okay. I'm going to do the same thing, just the line and the dot. Just 'cause that's a nice easy one to put inside this one. Okay, so now we have most of our basic leaves in there. Now I can just go in and add a few more where I want to fill things in. So one of them that I didn't do yet is one that has 3 leaves like this, kind of building off each other. So you'd have one of these pointy ovals and then a second one and then a third one. So if you've got space and you want to add something like that, you can. There's also leaves that are more of like a maple leaf that have more pointy edges. You can do that. But I'm just going to fill in with a few more of these pointy ovals and maybe some of the heart ones because those are kind of the easiest ones to do. So I'm going to put that heart shape one over here and I'm going to round the bottom instead of making it pointy. And then just put in a little stem. I'm going to do a pointy oval over here. Put in that middle stem. I can decorate it later. Now I've got this big hole right here and I feel like it needs something. So I'm going to imagine one of those pointy ovals in there. So I'm going to pretend like the top of it's here and the bottom of it's over here. So it's going to curve around on that side and curve around on that side, and I'll put a stem in the middle. So that's really tucked in there, but that's okay. And then I'll do some really thin lines on here just to kind of give it its own personality since it's sort of hiding. Sorry, I've got my book all over the place today. There we go. That looks cute back there. And this one over here, my little heart one, I think I'm going to come off that top of the heart, which is actually going to be the bottom of my leaf. And I'm going to come up and give it a little spiral on each side. I'm going to do that again and just kind of get smaller to fill up that space. That's kind of cute. This one over here, that's the pointy oval, I'm going to put in from the center and directly out the sides. I'm going to put in these little loops. Look how pretty that is. Loop, loop. All right, I think I'm going to add one or two more. I'm going to do that little, it reminds me of like a, is it a ginkgo leaf? I don't know if I'm saying that right. That's what it reminds me of. I'm going to do one of those because I like those. I think I might be about done with the leaf part. So now what I want to do is I've got all these extra little spaces and I'm going to put in some orbs. They can look kind of like berries maybe, but I'm going to put in some little circles and give them little reflections just to sort of bring everything together. They can be on the outside edges, they can be inside. Just like how those sort of connect some of those areas and fill it in. Okay, now I'm going to add my stems. So what I want to do with these stems is on every leaf, I want to thicken them just a little bit. So I'm going to go to this very first one I made, and I'm just going to go over it again and kind of to the side to thicken it. And then I'm just going to give it a thick bottom stem. This one right here, I'm going to thicken and then give it a thicker bottom like that. This one tucks under, so I don't need to do one. This little one, I'm giving it the stem and making it wider at the bottom. You can choose if they're going to go over the top of another leaf or they're going to tuck in below them. This one right here, I'm going to thicken. I like how they just sort of cross over each other. I just think that looks kind of cute. Let's see this one. I think I've done, oh no, this one here. Maybe now I've done all of them. I think so. Okay, isn't that great? I like it a lot. All right, so now I'm gonna do a little bit of shading, and then we can add a little bit of color if you want. But just kind of like step back and glance at yours, see if you need another leaf or two, see if you need any more little orbs or circles to kind of bring things together. And you can always add smaller orbs next to the big ones. You can do like a little cluster of them if you want. Just giving you ideas. All right, so I'm gonna shade. So to shade this, I wanna keep it simple, I really do, but leaves are kind of fun to shade. So I'm going to put graphite down the middle stem of every one of these. And I'm gonna let it kind of go on both sides of that stem. Just the part that's over the leaf. I forgot I wanted to add some more details. Okay, let's get the shading part done, then I can go back. All right, so then on each leaf, I'm just going to push out from both sides of that center. Look at that, it just kind of makes the leaf look like it's dipping down a little bit at that center stem. It already has more depth. Right, so this part's a little bit trickier, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. You can skip this part if you would like, but I'm going to take each leaf, and if it goes over another leaf, I'm going to give it a shadow on the outside. So this leaf right here on the side, it's going over this little one. It's going over that a tiny bit. It's going over this one and that one. And I can just add that little tiny bit of a shadow. And now it lifts that leaf up off the page a little bit. I can probably go actually all the way around it, even where it's just going over like an empty area. Okay, I'm gonna do that. So then I'm gonna take another leaf, this little leaf right here, and it's going over the open area, over this leaf, over the open area, over this leaf. So the only part I don't have to do is if it's tucked under something else. And just by softening that and pulling it out and away, it gives that a little bit of depth. So I'm gonna pick another leaf. This one isn't going over any leaves, it's tucking under, but I'm gonna give it just a nice little line of graphite all the way around those outside edges. And give that a little shadow. Just going to continue on to the next one. Little line of graphite. This one's tucking under there, so I don't need to outline it because it's hiding. There we go. this one right here. Do all the edges that are showing, especially the ones that are going over another leaf. Look at the effect that is having on this page. Right, this one. Even this little tiny one in the background, I can do its outer edges. I'm not doing the stems, but you could, I'm sure, if you wanted to. All right, I'm gonna stop right there for a minute because I want to take my pen and just show you in these leaves, like this one right here, that has just kind of all these nice little empty areas. You can fill those in with designs. So look, I can put in some little polka dots. Maybe I'll do polka dots in every other section. You could do some zigzags. So this leaf back here, I could put in some zigzag lines. Put in some dots. You could even color in one of the sections. This one down here, I could add some little lines and dots. There's so many fun things that you can do. So please don't stop just because I'm stopping. You can keep on going. All right, back to some shading. I think I'm just going to put a pencil line around all the ones I have left, and then I'll go blend them in. Okay, I think I got all of them. And if you feel like you've got too much graphite, then you can use your eraser and you can get rid of some of it. All right, I believe mine is done. What do you think? I think that turned out pretty great. You can also use your colored pens or colored pencils, and you can add beautiful colors to these. It would also look really great if it was watercolored. So many fun things you can do. But I hope you enjoyed that one, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.